we promised you a great main event here tonight.
WrestleMania is running west.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of GWE Wrestling Talk. And tonight, my God, I'm tired. I'm tired because last night, Talia and myself went to Smackdown in London at the O2. Really, I thought it was a good show. Not a great show, a good show with an epic ending segment is what I would say. And some real highlights, to be fair, in it. And it was a good show, great atmosphere. As with all of these European Raws and Smackdowns that they've been having, and the last one is in London, which we are lucky enough to be going to on Monday night as well, Monday Night Raw, live on Netflix, of course, all around the world. So we went to Smackdown. What was my first observation from going to Smackdown, and this is someone who's now been to quite a lot of wrestling shows, is people go in really early. So if anyone's watching this and have never been to a wrestling show, but you're going to your first show, maybe you're going to Monday Night Raw, maybe you're going to something else, is don't go in too early, is my tip. We got there to get some food about 5:30, Talia and I, met up some friends. So we had a good group of us that were going to SmackDown last night and are going to Raw on Monday. And the queues to actually get into the arena were already formed before 6 o'clock, and it's an 8 p.m. start time. And I get it, I've been there, you get your first show, excitement and all that, but it gets then, and then it's a 3-hour show, and then it takes an hour to get out of the O2. Suddenly you're in that arena for like 6 hours, you know. So it's the tip. No need to get there that early. But yeah, it was packed. It was a buzzing O2. People were excited, obviously, getting to see SmackDown. I suspect a lot of people seeing their first show in a while. Obviously, most people don't travel stupidly all across America to go and see wrestling like some people do. So it was good. Cody opens the show. Everyone sings along to Kingdom, which is unsurprising now in Europe, but this was a part comedy show, part drama show, part sing along is how I would have described SmackDown last night. Cody comes in, talks about John Cena. John Cena gets a chance. Randy Orton comes out, which I think is a cool moment. Which they've obviously teamed up since Cody's been back, but I don't think they've had any promos like this where they talk about the past, really. Maybe not in this detail. When you talk about legacy, which was of course Cody and Ted DiBiase Jr. supporting Randy Orton. So there's big history there. And then Orton makes it clear, no RKO, but makes it clear that he will be going for the belt. And interestingly, I'm sure many of viewers have noticed, but Backlash is in St. Louis, Missouri, which is the next event of the next PLE after WrestleMania, which is Randy Orton's hometown. So he will obviously have a big match there. It could be a title match. It could be a title match against John Cena. I mean, Orton Cena, one of the longest standing rivalries ever. So much so that it got really, really boring. But right now, in this current last run of John Cena, would be epic. Could be Cody, could go for the other belt. Orton, of course. There does not seem to be many brand rules at the moment in WWE around SmackDown and Raw, and who can go for what title. So it was a good thing. Then they got interrupted by Drew, who is just, as always, just great on the mic now. It's just a given now. It's not even a surprise anymore. And it's an interesting thing because Orton got his theme tune sung, Cody got his theme tune sung, Drew got big cheers, obviously being British, and we're in Britain. So crowd into everyone in this. Sets up a match later for Orton versus Drew, which we'll talk about in a bit, but it's a good match. I'm going to go on to the main event because the main event, which was the contract signing, but I'm going to just whiz through a few points that I made I thought were highlights or interesting points around the show. Jacob, no particular order, but Jacob Fatu, he's a superstar. I know they're all superstars, but he is an absolute superstar and a huge star in the making, if he's not already a huge star. It'll be interesting, and I don't know, I haven't read any spoilers, I don't know what the plan is, because LA Knight is still the champion, but Fatu comes in, attacks attacks Braun Strowman again, like he did at Saturday night's main event, from post to post, live on, I guess, USA Network, coast to coast. And he does that again, attacks LA Knight, has a clash of Solo, or verbal clash of Solo backstage, where tensions are clearly high. I thought at one point we were going to get Solo versus Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania. I just don't know if there's enough time to split them up. So again, back to my previous video, I think maybe a multi-man match for the US title, which has both maybe Solo and Jacob in. I think, I know Solo is not everyone's cup of tea, but I think Solo needs a match at WrestleMania, deserves a match at WrestleMania for what he's done this year. So I don't want him to just be in the corner of Jacob Fatu, but we'll see what happens. We haven't got that long left. I keep saying we've got 4 weeks left, 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks. Today is WrestleMania Saturday. So that was cool. Shout out to Naomi. One of the best sort of recorded promos. I mean, Naomi's just been killing it since. To be fair, Naomi's been killing it since she's come back. She's played third wheel to Jade and to Bianca, and now that's what the storyline is. And I thought this was epic. Epic sort of vignette, I think the right word is, when someone makes a video talking about what she did, and she's always done the right thing, and this was the right thing. I just hope they don't book this match for. I don't know why I've got this bad feeling they book it for a Smackdown or something. Jade versus Naomi. This needs to be at WrestleMania. This feud is a WrestleMania worthy feud. Storyline, everything like that. Naomi is great, and she is superb. She interrupted also Michin, and my God, it's so bad that I forgot her name. The one from Top Dollars thing. B-Fab, Michin and B-Fab, their entrance for their match with Charlotte Flair, beat the hell out of B-Fab, and now they've got a match next week, which I assume Jade will interfere in. But we also got Jade making the save, Naomi running away, and then we got a stare down between Jade and Charlotte, which was cool because that is a future dream match for sure. And then Charlotte was not popular in the O2. Some obscene, profanity-ridden chants, as John Cena would say, for Charlotte, for just being Charlotte. Which, yeah, people, I mean, you know, they can boo her or they can woo her, or apparently they can swear at her. But I love that she gave the, I won't do it, but she gave the finger back to the crowd as well. I don't know if that was on the TV part of it, but that definitely happened. But yeah, and like I said, then you got a little backstage segment with Tiffy, who delivered a better promo than last week anyway. But that's gearing up well. That's going to be a great match, Charlotte and Tiffy. I hope Jade and Naomi as well is booked for WrestleMania. We've got Drew versus Orton, which was a good, solid match, unsurprisingly, between two of the best in the business. Ended with KO distracting, old school distraction, just a distraction by looking at him, looking at Orton. Claymore 1, 2, 3. Good to get a finish in the match because, you know, you easily could have not got a finish in a match between two quite big stars. And then KO almost pile drives Randy Orton, but he doesn't. And then Orton's going for the pump kick. Obviously, KO runs away, but I think you don't need to be Mystic Meg or a predictor of the future to see that a punt kick is in Kevin Owens' horizon at WrestleMania in Vegas. Then you get a backstage segment, which I thought was excellent, with Drew McIntyre and Luce Capaldi. Drew saying he's going to the pub, everyone's cheering, opens the door. Damian Priest is there, brilliant stuff. Damian Priest, he's almost the forgotten man at the moment, and he's almost like, oh, you know, Drew should be feuding with her. Damian Priest was World Heavyweight Champion and he did a good job last year. Damian Priest got super over when he was wrestling Gunther at SummerSlam, and he wasn't even officially a face then at that point. He had done, well, the Finn had done the turn, I guess, at that point. So, you know, there's I got a lot of time for Damian Priest, so I thought this was good. And then he got a South of Heaven to the car windscreen, which Drew then claimed he got glass in his eye, and he told him to rest in peace, jackass. And that's a reference to obviously him calling him a Timu Undertaker previous to the night. But obviously Drew getting the mic, Priest, good stuff. I think this is going to be a great match, actually. They had a very good match at Clash at the Castle in Glasgow earlier last year. I think this is going to be a good match. before the main event segment, we've got Jimmy versus The Miz. Good to see Jimmy Uso get some action and get a clean win as well, heading into Monday Night Raw against Gunter. Jimmy, crowd was super into Jimmy. Jimmy obviously hugely, just because he's not as popular as his brother, his twin brother, he is still very, very popular. Good to see him get a win. And, that sets him up nicely for a ass whooping at the hands of the Ring General on Monday, I'm sure. And I'm sure we'll get Jay as well. So, yeah, good solid show, some key highlights. Dragged a bit, in some of the Chelsea Green stuff, that sort of stuff. But to be honest, it's a 3-hour show, and I don't know, but a lot of people think my preference has always been 2-hour shows. I think actually right now with Raw, they've hit the sweet spot. This 2-hour 20, 2-hour 25, 2-hour 30-minute show. I think it's valid criticism of the 3-hour show. It is a 3-hour show, but they've obviously got a deal with USA Network for 3 hours of TV, because that's what all USA have now is SmackDown. So I don't know when they can change that or how they can change that. It's hard to keep momentum every single week in a 3-hour show when Raw has been so tight, so good for the the Netflix era, even pre Netflix, And it's funny, things changed this way, isn't it? Because 3-4 years ago, Raw was, I wouldn't say it's unwatchable, but it was a chore to get through, and I didn't watch all 3 hours of it. I would forward to 1 segment, 2 segments I wanted to watch, and I wouldn't say SmackDown is nowhere near that sort of level. So again, it's a lot of TV, a lot is happening. WWE's everywhere in terms of YouTube, social media, everything, Netflix stuff, all of that. So a lot of attention on it, which brings its critics, and people do love to criticize. But I can see it can, being at the show yesterday, you can see it can drag a bit in the middle of the show. It's hard to keep momentum up for 3 hours when it's not a PLA. So I think, I think overall good to great, some great moments. And then we got to a very great moment in the contract signing. Let's have a look at Roman Reigns' entrance from our point of view first. Roman Reigns!
Acknowledge me.
There we were, acknowledging our tribal chief. We also acknowledged Seth Rollins and also acknowledged CM Punk, because I was, the minute they had their moment at the Royal Rumble, these three, and they teased the sort of triple threat, which I think that's what it was for, I was ready to go. I was ready to watch this. I won this match. These are 3 of my favorites right now. Probably 3 of my favorites of all time. Amazing in the ring, amazing storytellers, amazing on the mic, Paul Heyman factor, everything. Storyline, history. See, obviously you've got the Shield history. You've got the current rivalry between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Then you've got the history, obviously between the fact that CM Punk brought them in as the Shield as well. People go back. There's a proper story in there, and then people screwing over people getting their way, people getting their wish. But this was just excellent. Crowd was super into it, almost to the point where, not that I ever tell crowd to be quiet, or wanted the crowd to be quiet, that I wanted to listen. It was tense, but obviously people wanted to sing Seth's song. They wanted to sing CM Punk's name. They wanted to chant CM Punk's name. They wanted to sing Roman Reigns' name. Roman Reigns. He got the Cody Rhodes chant, which Cody got earlier in the night as well. But yeah, this just, I thought this was absolutely on fire from the minute Roman Reigns got in. Huge ovation. And this was, for me, like vintage Roman Reigns of the last few years. This was full, and this is an interesting fact, because at the moment you would say all 3 are baby faces in the traditional sense. If you had to pick a heel, maybe you saw bits of Seth and he's the natural one, people call him the joke. Roman Reigns is the heel. Roman Reigns is still a heel. Roman Reigns has not changed his character since he came back. People didn't like Solo, so Roman came back and he wanted the Ula Fala back. Obviously, people are going to cheer Roman Reigns. He is, and actually last night, he was classic Roman Reigns, talking about he did everything himself, laughing at people, mocking people, telling the crowd to acknowledge him. All of that stuff was peak heel Roman Reigns of the 4 years that went before he came back at SummerSlam last year. So I guess there was hints towards Seth turning heel, but Seth is actually, he's the Shield. Do you remember last year when he said, Cody, I will be your shield? And he was Cody's shield in so many ways, but also particularly at the end when he took the chair shot, which distracted Roman and Cody finished the story. And if you listen to the chat, he is protecting the WWE from a tyrant like Roman Reigns. He's protecting the WWE from a cancer, in his own words, like CM Punk. I thought Seth was brilliant. I thought all three of them, and Paul Heyman obviously, were magnificent at every point. I think there was some genuine emotion in that CM Punk. It was absolute genuine emotion from CM Punk and Paul Heyman. CM Punk finally getting his WrestleMania main event, which was amazing, and he absolutely deserves it. And you know, he should have got it at that time. And I think I remember back when he didn't get it, when he did the pipe bomb. So 2011, did the pipe bomb. He didn't get it because they already set the WrestleMania main event a year in advance, and it was The Rock versus John Cena, which is the biggest match at the time, one of the biggest matches of all time. And even though he won and then he became champion, he was champion for 434 days. He never got to WrestleMania main event. I'll be honest, like if you look at it objectively, The Rock versus John Cena the first time, when it was apparently once in a lifetime in Miami, is the WrestleMania main event. You put that on before, and then CM Punk, they lose heat in the main event. I think it would be like the Hogan Rock at WrestleMania 18, and then you go to Triple H and Jericho, and the crowd were done because you had one of the most epic matches. So I think that was right. The second time over, when The Rock and John Cena had not such a great match at that thing, there's an argument absolutely that CM Punk could have absolutely main evented WrestleMania in some way. He obviously wrestled The Undertaker in an absolutely great match, but he could have main evented WrestleMania then. And then obviously by 30, he was gone and not to be seen again since last year. And I think he would have main evented night one with Seth if that was the original plan. If it was going to be The Rock and Roman, God knows what Cody would have done last year. We'll never know. But Cody did what he did. The Crybabies came out. CM Punk got injured. Seth couldn't face CM Punk last year. So we'll never know if that was going to be a main event. So again, adds another layer though into his main event, adds another layer into the emotion. So I think there's absolute genuine emotion in there. CM Punk gets to main event WrestleMania. I suspect it'll be night one. I've already said in the previous video that it would be my main event. It would be my main event on night two. But absolutely get why it will be Cody versus Cena, I'm sure, on night two, and this triple threat on night one. And then we get the absolute stinger of that's not the favour he's owed, and it just ends. But interestingly, so after obviously the show ends at that point, because I've rewatched the last 15 minutes, but CM Punk then leaves the ring slowly. Seth Rollins leaves the ring slowly, and then we were on our way out, walking out. So I don't know. I don't think Roman Reigns did anything else, but it was interesting. It was. I thought it was fascinating, and I people said they weren't that hyped about this match. I was hyped. So my hype levels were up there. It's just gone up there now. So this is. I think the two main events, night one and night two, are going to be spectacular. They feel humongous. They feel like it should be at a WrestleMania in Vegas, which they absolutely are. And yeah, like I said, I think this dynamic around Roman Reigns, like I said, he's the bad in the traditional sense. He's the bad guy in this. Seth Rollins is the hero in the typical sense, and then CM Punk's probably the anti-hero in it. So he has done some wrong things. He's come back. He's got redemption. You know, if you look at that, I don't know if they'll. I don't know. Seth doesn't need to turn. I don't think you need to turn people heel and face in this scenario. Seth's where Seth is, and he's got. I think, like I said, I think Seth was on the mic. CM Punk's obviously great. Roman Reigns great. Seth Rollins all great. But I think sometimes the reactions in wrestling make something what it is, and him just getting angrier and angrier and angrier and just snapping, and then Roman Reigns almost ignoring him snapping to tell CM Punk to acknowledge him. Yeah, this was epic. I want to watch it again. That's what me talking about it makes me want to watch it again. So I think, yeah, good SmackDown with a great ending. Looking forward to going to Raw. We've got Bianca refereeing Io versus Rhea, which I suspect with the main event. We've got John Cena and Cody Rhodes again, and we've got Jimmy Uso versus Gunther. So just on those three things alone, I'm very much looking forward to going to Raw. I'm sure the atmosphere will be great again. Anyway, let me know your thoughts as always. Like, comment, subscribe, please. What did you think of SmackDown last night? Looking forward to Raw, hopefully tomorrow. My God, I told you, I'm tired. As I start this video, as I finish the video, I'm tired. Coming back in and getting an Uber all the way back from the flipping O2 home, waiting for the Uber, finding the Uber, all of this sort of stuff. Too old for this.